Hey guys, let's talk about opening disc detainer locks, or at least Chinese disc detainer locks. I had wanted to do this video quite some time ago, but I had loaned out my little tool here to someone, and I just got it back this afternoon, so this is good timing. The other good timing is that a friend of mine, or actually one of the guys that works with me, just came back from Kenya, and he brought me 2 more of these locks. I had destroyed all of mine, if you recall, demonstrating the destructive ways to get into these in less than a minute. So if you haven't seen that video, I guess it's probably like 3 months ago. You can get into these very quickly, but unfortunately it's a destructive technique. So let's take a look at these. Here we have a Shinling top security 50mm. Get rid of that. And the only thing we need the keys for, we're going to make sure it works. So let's just, it is Chinese technology. So locks, unlocks, that's good. And locks. And then throw those keys away. You will never use those again. Now, how can I help improve your picking success? Well, it's this cheap tool. These are about $20, I think, off of a lot of the picking sites. When you get them, these also are made in China. And so the machining is going to be pretty rough. The finish, it's like they machined it and then dipped it in some kind of contaminated chrome. So the shaft and all the finished parts are going to have little bubbles and imperfections. So disassemble it, chuck it up in your drill, get yourself some 600 sandpaper, and really smooth out this shaft because it's going to be sliding in and out. And you don't want those rough, like sand-like granules grinding around. You can also, if you look closely, take out this Allen screw, and that takes out the tip. And that way you can sand that real well. You're going to need to clean up the tip too. This is music wire and it's going to be nasty with that chrome finish. And the last part is the actual tip. When you get the tip, it's going to be like a glob of, I don't know, molten metal stuck on the end. It's going to be about twice as long as the one that you see here, or twice as wide. You're going to need to narrow it down with sandpaper and a file, really smooth it out as best you can. I made mine kind of oval shaped. And I find that kind of rolls against those discs and gives me really good feedback. So that's going to improve your success. So enough talking, let's figure out what are some of the tips about how to open these things. Well, when we open one of these disc detainer locks, they can have anywhere from, say, 6 to 8 discs on the inside. And I always like to know where we're starting. So I will put the pick in and I use the tip to move all of my discs to one side, either clockwise or counterclockwise. It really doesn't matter where you start. You're going to be going back and forth trying to find a smooth spot. So I'm pushing all of mine as far clockwise as I can get them. And it also is telling me how rough things are, and I felt some grinding. So this particular one by Shinling, apparently the inside's pretty dirty, but it doesn't matter. Okay, now that everything is zeroed and everything is all the way to one side, now I'm going to apply a little bit of tension. Now remember, inside of there are discs and there's a sidebar. Probably located, well, on this side, but it could be on either side. When you put the tip against that first disc, which I'm trying to locate it right now, get in there, and you start pushing it, in my case counterclockwise, the opposite of the way that you push the discs, you're going to feel that disc grinding against that sidebar. And you just want to grind along until you feel a little chunk. And that usually means that you've fallen into the gate. And when you found the gate, you move to your next disc and you do the same thing. Sometimes you have to go all the way around and go back and forth, but that's okay. And you just move from disc to disc. And when you hit that last one, you got pressure on your thumb here and your forefinger down here. That whole thing is just going to rotate. Now there is such thing as a false set. You could rotate partially, and that means that maybe only one more of those gates, only one of those discs is hung up on the gate. So as soon as you find that one, it'll release and you'll get an open. Hear that grinding along? And there we got an open. Shinling, 50 millimeter. Nothing to it. All right, let's try this from scratch. We're only at 5 minutes. Let's try this other piece of junk. This is a different manufacturer. This looks like a Rich Door Top Security Super 40 millimeter. Okay, let's see what we got here. Need that again. Let's just check and make sure this lock is going to work. Open, close, and then just throw those keys away. We will never use those again. All right, let's, without so much talking this time, let me put this in here. And this one's at a little bit odd of an angle. It's just the luck of the draw. I'm going to push all my discs. Again, I'm a clockwise kind of guy. I'm going to push all of them clockwise. Looks like there's about 6 of them in here. Okay, I got them all clockwise. At least I think I do. I'm going to find that first disc and just move down the stack, rotating those discs to find that, to let it go kerchunk, and you'll feel it. It's almost like setting a pin on a pin tumbler. And there we go. Open. Fellas, there's nothing to these locks. They are so simple because there are no false gates. And I don't know why the Chinese decide not to do that. It wouldn't be so difficult to cut a few false gates onto those discs. But until they do, you're looking at a 2-minute pick job with a $20 tool. So those are the tips that I have. They are not secrets, but they're the best tips that I have to open these things very quickly, very efficiently. Anyway, everybody, thanks for your time. Everybody stay safe and stay legal.